All right, guys, we have done quite a lot today, as you can see here. Well, let me hop down here. First off, we got some of the grass cut just around all the trees. We're gonna come back tomorrow with the actual lawnmower and get the majority of the grass, all of this tall stuff right here. Really pretty lush grass, but it just needs to be cut back because it's a little too much for our place. Look at this roof.
West wall.
No, all the screws are not put in yet. It's I guess you can consider it somewhat of a temporary job, but the roof itself is good. We've gotten all of the ripples out, or all of the unevenness of the roof.
Oh, the buckling. We used to have buckling in it.
Yeah, buckling, that's the word I was looking for. Hey, these trees right here. These are Deodora's cedar, or Deodora's cedar, which has some really awesome cones. I'm gonna see, we might have some footage of us at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They have one of these trees right beside one of our favorite rides, the Alpengeist, and we've always loved it. We didn't know what kind of tree it was, and we actually bought these, not on mistake, but we didn't buy these with that in mind. We only found out later that it's actually the tree that we have always loved at Busch Gardens. So really neat stuff. So those will be planted at the northeast and northwest corner of the cabin to kind of set the cabin off. But look at that roof, guys. It's perfect. I mean, it's flat, it's level. Let me get over here.
We're hoping that the panels are in decent alignment.
And they are. There's no more unevenness. You can see it's all one line now. Way, way better than it was. Hopefully rain will just run right off. No problems here. Kind of see a little bit better here how the spacing is happening. We've got the even spacing on the front and back to kind of act, you have some overhang on both sides. Kind of see that a little bit better here. Couldn't really see it before because of course the other side wasn't one that we had done. And I think that having the nailers protrude out in front of the gable ends just has such a neat look. As you're walking up to the cabin or driving up, it really sets the place off and it just looks so beautiful. And of course, once we, do the flash up there, do the trim work, all that mess, this will look only even better. So
We're also going to trim these back.
Yeah, that's another
Ugly.
Another thing that looks kind of childish right now is having these sticking out. So once we get these cut back with the even with the roof panels flat, it'll look good. So another thing to look forward to. Oh, pretty big deal here. Dad today, before I was able to get out here, framed this side of the porch in. This would be considered the west wall. And he did all the framing for this. Of course, I put some of the 6x6s up, just the last two.
That's right.
But he just came in and framed it up. So it's neat how me and him were kind of tag teaming this thing and kind of working off of what each other's able to do to have a pretty awesome product in the end.
So another big step in this is we have to finish creating the south porch, which is mimicking the north porch.
It'll literally be the exact same thing as up here,
but back here.
That's right, just behind it.
So then we'll have a little more porch frame to do as well.
Yes. Yep.
But we're done with the roof. Thank goodness. I'm tired of that roof. That roof. Oof. I need somebody to hang me up there.
It's tough. I mean, it's hard work. It really is. And
I got here about 7 this morning. Well, yeah, about 7:30 this morning. I think it's 8, a little after 8 now, 8 p.m. And that's a solid day for me. I'm ready to give it up. So we're gonna come back out tomorrow, do a little bit more work. But as you guys can see, this place is starting to shape up. In the next week or so, we should have this part framed in and covered.
Yep.
And now that we have the roof done, Now we can start permanently attaching these panels.
And that's that's a really big deal.
That's a big deal. This will be covered. We'll get this framed in. It'll be covered, and it'll be permanent. As permanent as wood is concerned. Yeah, that's what I was telling you earlier. This when you step off the 2x4s, that metal is soft. It will rip. So that piece we may end up taking that out, using it for the backside, because we're gonna have to cut some of that anyway for the chimney.
Or even the corners. So like the corner spots here, of course, you're gonna have long, a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter. So maybe for a part like that. But folks, the roof is really the highlight of the day.
Oh man.
Climb the ladder here just a little bit. Give you guys a good look at what it looks like from up here. All in all, really good day out here. One of our more productive days, I would say.
Another sunset afternoon out here at the cabin. I've got a small window of opportunity to come out here and do a little work today during the week. And we have decided to go ahead and open up this back so that we can begin the process of building the porch. Kind of hard to see the depth here, but what we cleared out here, maybe we can roll in some footage of where it once was, because it was coming all the way up to this mound of dirt that I have here. So we have gone in about 10 feet from the back of the cabin. Then we're going to extend that porch out all the way through here. Have this neat little canopy in here, and we're going to trim it back a whole lot more, but we want to get the porch in place first. Don't want to trim unnecessarily, but I think we're going to do a lot of thinning out back here behind the cabin, because at one time it used to be pretty thin. Kind of see through there now. It used to be pretty thin back there, but it's overgrown. But what we're considering is thinning this out a lot. I mean, drastic amount, and putting fruit trees and grapevines back here in this nice, dark, rich, deep soil. See how that turns out. But this is a different view. This is really cut back from the cabin now, so that we've got enough space to come through and finish this porch and roof off. So Gabriel is there moving our, I don't know what we want to call that pile. It's kind of
it's a debris pile.
It's a debris pile, but it's stuff we're going to use. In the part of that's going to be some of the outhouse build. But we're slowly but surely putting this thing together, and now we're kind of in the cleanup phase, kind of in the get things together phase, and that's what we're doing. What we have over here is a burn pile. This is odds and ends stuff that's just really not any good for much of anything other than burning it. So we're gonna make that into smaller pieces. Cut those into smaller pieces, put them in the burn bucket, put them in the burn barrel. This is the good to go lumber. This is the keep lumber. And we still have this pile, still have that pile, more at home, and some on the other side of the cabin there. So we shouldn't run out of any usable lumber any point in time. Soon, anyway. Now that really, just clearing this out today, really opened that back up. It's pretty cool looking.
go out there.
Just as a quick idea for scale, this is what we're looking at here.
That's so awesome.
This is a huge porch. Kind of have these set out in a rough pattern here of how we're going to put this out. But this is pretty close. And come out this weekend, we'll dig around this one, set that in, get it squared up with the rest of the porch, and begin to dig the rest of them. And folks, we're going to have us a cabin.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Finally.
Yes, finally done with the real, this signifies, well actually the roof itself signified the last bit of the real heavy hitting that we had to do.
Because the porch itself isn't that bad.
No,
You know.
It's still labor intensive, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like what that was. That, oh goodness. I really don't ever want to do anything like that again.
Even this roof is nowhere near as bad as that.
No.
This is relatively easy to put up. That is just a whole different beast. I mean, it's just...
A couple things that were going against us during the roof build. One, we're inexperienced builders. Two, we didn't have all the materials we wanted in the beginning to build the roof the way we wanted to build it. So we had to build it with the plywood with the idea in mind that once we sourced all that lumber that we put up here, and you know, this lumber here, it's the very same lumber up there.
Yep.
Once we were able to get our hands on that, source that out, then we pulled it all back down, put that stuff up. So had we had that lumber in the beginning, we would not have had to do this roof twice. But you're looking at our subfloor here. So I won't let anything go to waste. But this is going to be one cool spot. I really can't wait to get that chimney covered up with some stone, because this is an ugly, it's an ugly chimney. You know, that's another product of just not knowing what we're doing. Now, if we had to do it again, there's so many things about this cabin that we would do differently if we were to have to do this again. I personally don't plan to ever build another cabin. I'll probably wait for Gabriel and his kids to build one. And maybe some of my other sons, or even Isabella and her sons, to build one. But this is probably going to be it for me. But, you know, with the firebox and things like that, there's a lot of things we would do different, simply because now we've got a little experience under our belts to look back and be able to look back and see, you know, hey, we didn't do that right. We should have done it. Yeah.
That's right.
But hey, that is not a complaint. The experience that we have gathered by doing this, I don't think there's anything that we can't do.
Nope. Nope.
I've always wanted something like this out here on this property.
We're good.
And we're good. Look at that. Maybe you can see the moon in the background. There it is. All right, folks, we're going to call it a day. Appreciate you joining us. I'm getting this, seeing this area back here cleared out. We'll catch you next time. So, always, defend the weak, fight for what you love.
Have the wings of liberty, never lose a feather. And God bless.